left-wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat. Evangelical Christianity emphasizes the importance of living a life according to the teachings of the Bible. Now that evangelicals are backing Trump, many have suggested that evangelical Christianity is losing credibility. So, Walanda, are evangelicals losing their religion and abandoning their principles for Trump?
Okay, well, let me first define what evangelical is, because I was a little confused by everything that's happening. So I had to go look it up. It says Christians who emphasize spreading the message of salvation through faith in Jesus Christ. This form is often associated with a conservative approach, of course, to theology and social issues. And then I went and looked up, so what is their values? So when I talk about a Christian, what are they looking towards or what messages are they trying to spread? Christian values include principles such as love, compassion, forgiveness, humility, honesty, and justice. They use the teachings of Jesus Christ as a moral and ethical behavior, emphasizing virtues. Now, with those definitions, I'm sorry, I don't see Trump in the New Testament whatsoever. I can rant and rant over and over and over again about things that Trump has done, and these words that we say: humility, honesty, justice, moral and ethical behavior.
Nah,
How do you?
he missed on all of them.
Right. You know, again, let's critically think and just say, does he align himself with Jesus's teachings? And you don't really have to be a Christian per se to know good versus bad or wrong versus right, and some of the things that we have experienced with Trump. So in that, I do say that evangelicals, I don't understand it. I don't understand the alignment to Trump. I don't understand the following with him in your own, as far as definition of what a Christian is or what your values and beliefs are to be.
Let me play devil's advocate on that a little bit with the evangelicals. I think with the evangelicals, and like I said, once again, just going out on a limb, I think they look at I don't think they really honestly I think on both ends, when it comes to like evangelical and the Christian part of it, neither party is going to have anybody that kind of falls in the line with that. I think they try to look and see, what does this person represent for us? And I think a lot of them lean to the Republican Party because they were so big on pro-life, you know what I'm saying? And they were big on anti-abortion. And so Trump kind of got the benefit of that, of them supporting him, because he still kind of fell into the lines of that. So I hear exactly what you're saying, but I don't think they think any candidate is going to fit any of those categories. But who's more lined up on what we're trying to look at and what we're trying to do? I mean, but still, even with that saying, also look at what he's also doing outside of what you're trying to do. Like, you can't ignore the fact that, hey, he just got hit with a rape case. Like, you just can't now look at that. He's grabbing people by the vagina and all that. You can't miss that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what they'll do is they'll lock into maybe just like one thing that he's doing that's conservative, which is crazy if you think Trump's conservative, but nonetheless, they'll look at that, and then they'll also ignore all the other immoral things that he's doing. And I don't understand that at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do one good thing and 25 bad things and be like that. And he's conservative I always tell people he's conservative when it comes to big business and
spending money, right?
And corporations and things like that. He does fit that mold. But when it comes to like evangelicals and you're talking about family values,
moral
and all of
ethical
that,
behaviors.
Well, even the family values campaign, which is really more what the evangelicals and the Christian rights are on. Like, he doesn't fit that mold at all. He doesn't value family. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't fall into that at all. So that's where the confusion comes.
So what I hear you guys saying is the answer to my question is yes. They are abandoning their principles for Trump.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think they're confused on like you said, like I don't, and they will say that Democrats and Republicans both do agree that Republicans embrace religion more so, and Democrats remain more neutral on that aspect. And that's the difference as far as religion in politics in general. So I agree with you on that stance. But again, if you're talking about moral and ethical behaviors as one of your beliefs and value systems, even though he may supposedly align himself with one, as far as, talking about, again, the abortion topic, but as a whole, how do you rationalize that? How do you on one little topic? So he says he's for life, pro-life, in the womb, not outside the womb. We all know how we feel about those things that are happening. But how do you align yourself with that and ignore all the other behavior?
Yeah.
Again, would Jesus ride with the petty? I don't understand the rape. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense to me as a whole, as who he is as a person.
Steve on YouTube said, unfortunately, these folks believe in party over religion. And that goes back to the conversation that we've had before where individuals will vote party over principle. And at the same time, there are other people in the party that they could have chose from.
Yeah.
So even remember back when Mike Pence was kind of like in the race,
And
he, to your point earlier, like, hey, there's nobody who fits that mold. He at least pretended to fit that mold. If he doesn't,
No,
I don't know. I don't know him personally, but the thing he was always God first. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm just, like, evangelicals should have been like, this is our dude, because he is at least speaking to the principles that we follow, that Walanda so greatly articulated, like the whole definition of what they are. He's the definition. He fits that mold. But then you go to this dude who doesn't, because he got you, or he can get you the things that you want from a political stance. So that's why I go back to like that question. And I also will follow up that question about, we already know, they're abandoning their principles, right? They're going for some guy who has nothing to do with what they are defined as. But second to that, are the evangelicals themselves starting to not practice what they preach?
I don't have any evidence on this, but I mean, you're losing something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm old enough to remember when Clinton was president. Remember them days when Clinton was president and Clinton got caught with Monica Lewinsky and the world was about to blow up?
Yep.
Like, Trump's like 10 times that. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to talk about that one moral issue that's going on. I mean, Clinton did what he did, but he wasn't up in court and stuff like that and getting hit upside the head with 83 million and stuff because he won't be quiet on top of a case that he got proven that he raped somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the evangelicals ignore that. You know what I'm saying? But when Clinton was up, it was just like a big deal, man. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it used to be that's what the party stood for.
Right.
But like you said right now, you've changed your ways. So you lost that. You're losing that credibility at what you're doing. Hey, look at, I don't like the fact when it's going to come to Christian nationals and all of this, I don't like the fact that they even throw God into it.
Right.
We all know Jesus wasn't a political person in the first place. He didn't roll like that anyway. He rolled with the people. You know what I'm saying? So to put that first and foremost, when Jesus is on this world, he wasn't walking around politicking and he was helping the poor. He was out there just really giving everything up to get people going. These are people that are trying to gain more and get more power. This person was giving up power. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jesus was giving up power. You know what I'm saying? So to run on that platform and try to be Christian national, Christ-like, what you're talking about.
Right.
But I'm going to ignore all these morals and all this stuff so I can gain more power and get the things that I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, it doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like when you're saying that, it's you're running on a false platform.
Right.
Just utilizing that to gain people that are actually probably living their life and being Christian, like to try to gain their vote so you can get that power. I'm talking about the powers behind it actually making up these groups. Like, so yeah, they lost something.
Right.
They lost something.
It's funny at their own thought process. So if the Chiefs win, y'all, then that means God is for Swifty and Swifty is for Biden. So just by your own logic, if you start thinking like critically, okay, so Chiefs won the last game. And if they win the Super Bowl, then God brought them. Is that how we think now? So what I'm noticing about
God don't care about the Super Bowl.
I know, but you know me, but by their own thought process,
God
then that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying. Maybe I need to go with the Chiefs. Never mind, I'm switching my vote. I'm a Chief. But there's a gradual decline in Christianity for that reason. So they're moving more to spirituality because I think people see, make an assumption here, the contradiction of everything. It's very hard for you to preach moral and ethic, and we're all for the people, love everyone. And then we have somebody speaking the opposite to that. And then you have a 35%, because I think that's what evangelicals are, riding with this individual who stands for nothing that they say they stand for. So it's really difficult for people. So they're moving in a different direction altogether. Yeah. There's a decline in Christianity.
Well, let's get to the
and also
spirituality.
Just real quick, we talk about practicing what they preach, right? Like they're saying all these things, saying we want a godly person. Are you being godly? Mm-hmm. Are you showing love? Are you showing compassion? Tina shared a video of an individual who wrote a book about this topic about evangelicals in America. And this individual happens to have said some things that were criticizing Trump in the past. And his father passed away, and his father was a pastor of a church, right? Evangelicals, all of them. He went to his father's funeral, and people at the funeral, took that as an opportunity to bash him verbally about his stance politically or the things that he said about Trump. And they called him a traitor to their religion, this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, that's not practicing love. That's not practicing compassion. That's not turning the other cheek. That's not, coming from curious to understand another point of view and trying to, help this person understand whatever their point of view, right or wrong, right? They are not practicing what they preach anymore. When we see these rallies, half the people, I don't know the numbers on this, right? I'm just throwing it out there, but I'm pretty sure some of the people who attacked on January 6th probably call themselves evangelicals.
Yeah, probably.
Okay?
And Christians.
These are Christians, and these are not the behaviors of someone who is practicing what they preach. So I don't think that evangelicals are practicing what they preach anymore. And as evidence of that, I think that what they're seeing is a shift, to your point, of numbers decreasing, secularism growing in America, and them hearing all of these secular points and conversations and starting to abandon their own values, because they don't fit anymore.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not a theologist, and I've been to a couple of Sunday school classes, and grandma used to maybe go to vacation Bible school, back in the 70s. That was a long time ago. But I do remember that I think Jesus said something about don't judge, right? And Donald Trump's the biggest judging person I know in the world. He sits up there and talks about people all day long.
All the time.
So it's hard for me to and like I said, it's hard for me to, you come an evangelical, white Christian nationalist, or whatever they want to call themselves. You come from a Christian platform. And the first thing about Christianity is don't judge. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So to back my man up, you're abandoning your own principles, but for what? The only thing I can see is because of power, greed, and wealth. That's it.
That's not very godly.
Yeah, it's not. And Steve on YouTube just said that the Bible speaks on helping the poor. I don't see Trump helping with any of that.
Nah.
And you know what's sad is most evangelical states, I looked up where they reside in the population, they're all Southern. It's Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, East Texas, more so, West Virginia, Mississippi, North Carolina. What do they all have in common? That's what's so concerning to me is a lot of your poor reside in these states. So I don't understand.
Well, what's concerning to me is that y'all ain't clicked that like button. What I need y'all to do is click on that like button. Make sure that you share this video like my girl Tina always says. And if you want to see more of these common sense conversations, make sure that you subscribe to Left Wing Kingz. All right, so evangelicals, what the hell are they? I have no idea. And I say that because I'm like, I don't know. Are they a political group? Are they a religion? Are they something else? What are they?
Like what makes you evangelical? Somewhere these people having meetings. I don't know.
Well, by definition, it's a religion. But then you see how they act in the political arena. And
I never hear about them until it's a conversation about politics.
Yeah.
Because religion is now being, I don't want to say it wasn't before, but you hear more about religion in political conversations. And that leads to, I guess, the evangelicals.
The first time I started hearing about them was when Bush started running. And,
right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they kind of came out. And Yeah, I don't like where they having all these evangelical meetings, rallies or whatever. I know I ain't getting no invite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but yeah, it's you know, like I said, once again, to me, it's smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you know, anybody can sit up here and a lot of con men do it. They can come on the God approach, the religious approach, and they can start talking that because people automatically put you in a situation. Okay, well, this person is walking this walk. It's a certain way they walk in life. But a lot of people can do that, and you know the Bible got a word for it. It's called false prophets. They can come out and they can talk like they're walking that life, but at the end of the day, they got a hidden agenda, and it's starting to look like these evangelicals and a lot of people just got hidden agendas. You know what I'm saying? Like it you know, like you said, it's about helping the poor. Okay, let's be real. Who's the number one people that want to turn away immigrants? Evangelicals and the Republican Party. Those are poor people. A lot of them, and they it's not like they're going for the people who aren't poor. Like the people who aren't poor, they can get into the country and be immigrants. They're okay with that. But it's the poor people that are needing help that they're having issues with, and they're showing on TV, and they're making a mockery of when it comes to the immigration problem. Well, you the evangelicals. Jesus helped poor people. He was with the poor people.
So open your arms up.
What are you
Open
talking
your
about?
houses up. Right.
There you go.
Well, and Pew research shows, too, that 3/4 believe that churches should not come out in favor of candidates in general. And you got to think, again, we're talking about the power to influence. That's why people in schools, we can't talk our political views. I can't talk to kids. You know why? Because kids going to follow me. Kids love me. They believe what I say. And the same thing with your pastor. I think what happens is they listen to the pastor. Like you said, could may possibly be a false prophet leading a life. I'm trying to get to heaven. Whatever you say, pastor, that's how I'm riding, because I want my salvation in the end. So a lot of times I'm assuming they believe that whatever, you know, their clergyman or their pastor is saying, then this is truth. This is fact. So this is what I have to align myself with to make sure that I get my salvation in the end.
Yeah,
We have a problem. Yeah, that ain't the way. I think we got a problem with categorizing everything. Like, if you look at the Republicans, even the Democrats, you got, you know, black voters, you got
liberals,
you got all kind of stuff. You look at
moderates.
You got moderates. You look at Republicans, you got Tea Party, you got evangelicals, you got and half of them are all mixed in. They're both, you know, you got MAGA, you got all of these categories and names and stuff, and it has just become, okay, look, do you believe in God? I'm pretty sure there's people that are Democrats and Republicans that believe in God and believe in a difference between what we as Americans deem to be right and wrong. Okay? We all have those beliefs. We all have some I guess consistency there in those beliefs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Why they got to be a group called evangelical? What? I don't even understand. It's just a way to just try to say, hey, here's another group of people that we got on our side.
Yeah, we had a name for that. That's called gangs in the hood. You know
That's exactly what
we all like each other. We wear the same colors. We a gang, and we do the same thing over here. That's called gangs, and that's just a high level way of being in a gang, man. That's all it is. And I mean, and that's how they run their politics, man. Like you roll with the way we roll, and or not. Like it's funny that you say that, because every political party's got the party within the party that's holding up stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like every time you have an argument, like the Democrats ain't getting along because these Democrats, which are the moderates, the conservative Democrats, you know, don't. And over here, the MAGA Republicans don't want to do this, and it's like George Washington they didn't write that up. You know what I'm saying? They had no MAGA Republicans and all that. You know, Ben Franklin wasn't here penning that up. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, people fall on the Constitution and they doing the right thing, and then they try to, you know, and believe it or not, the Constitution's based, you know, similar, you know, the norms of law. All law is kind of based off of the law of the Bible. But at the end of the day, people ain't trying to use that. They're just using that for their own power. You know what I'm saying? And what they can get out of it.
Now you say, like, you know, laws are based on, you know, the Bible, right? And a lot of them are. But we as Americans have talked a lot about separation of church and state. So should religion even have a place in politics?
It's not supposed to in this country. You know what I'm saying? But obviously it does. I mean, well, back in the old country, in England, you know, the church had a political platform in government. You know what I'm saying? Like there were a lot of decision makers, and that's what they mean by they say separation of church and state. You don't have no high priest up there in Washington that's sitting along with the president making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? But we've slipped in our two-party system politics by either, people using that as a platform or, like you said, setting up their own individual groups within a political party and working it that way.
Yeah, well, they said about 37% people believe churches have too much influence. So if we're talking about separation of church and state, we're reaching that numerical value where it's like they really have a say in what is happening politically, and that could be dangerous again, because we have all different kind of religions here, guys. It's not just Christianity that people follow, and people have to remember that as well.
And that's why separation of church and state is important, because of that. Because we are supposed to be a diverse country with multiple religions. We're supposed to be accepting of one another. We have Jewish people, we have Sikhs, we have Islam, we got all, but we focusing on evangelicals and what they want.
Right.
No one else, no other religion group gets any love. And that's why this separation of church and state is important. And that's why when I say, like, okay, should politics even have a place in religion? It shouldn't.
No.
It should be something that, because there's too many people with different religions in our country. It shouldn't even be part of the conversation.
Agree.
But
should be very neutral as much as possible. Because we all, again, know good, bad. We can say that in right and wrong without even using religion. You know what I mean? Like, as far as making some of these decisions. So I agree.
Yeah.
That's a no.